Good evening, everyone. Today's session on legal reasoning, practice session. Now, in today's session, as I say, planning is the key. So, we plan success. Before beginning with the session, at the onset, let me have a clarification that everything that happens for a good reason. Children are getting disturbed about the fact that the NLAT is cancelled, the Supreme Court judgment is not in the favor of students, so on and so forth. What I started in the month of April, I'll reiterate my words. In life, if there is a problem and you could do something about it, do it. Why worry? If not, if the circumstances, situations are such which are completely beyond your capacity, you can't do anything about them. You can't do anything about pandemic. You can't stop it. You can take care of yourself, take care of your family. Similarly, if situations are beyond your control, you should do the best possible thing at that point in time. And again, you should not worry. So I think to all the law aspirants, it's a time when you need to eye on 26th for ALET and 28th for CLAT. These 2 days are very important for you. Rather than beating around the bushes, gossiping, sharing nonsense which doesn't make sense, you should have all the focus on the D days, that is 26th and 28th. And I think with all the efforts that you have put in, with all the energy that you have put in, for so many months of studies that you have done, for your consistent efforts and persistent will, I think this all will culminate into a great result. And may you get what you deserve, and may the best player win. Keeping that thing, let's go ahead into the session today. Today's session, let me tell you, I'll just talk about this thing that, the structured approach, it matters so much. Going ahead, when I talk about today's session shall have two things, specifically two things. Number one, I would have two passages of legal reasoning. I'll tell you how to look at an approach to the passages. I'll tell you sometimes a passage is so small, so how you need to, rush through it and come back to it and be fast. And second thing, some important topics for legal GK. I would tell that the legal GK sessions that Kriti ma'am had taken, and today again there was a session on legislation. Trust me, there are two things that I'll tell you. Yesterday you have completed 2100, so you have already done with 100 odd mocks, and you imagine the legal questions were mostly contemporary. So you have done with almost all the possible contemporary legal issues. I always used to say more than mock analysis matters. So I'm of the opinion that all the passages that you have done, you would have already done with it. You would have explored it. You would have done a 360-degree analysis of it. I'm sure you have done that. Number two, we are fortunate that if it was NLAT or even CLAT sample papers, the passages were really matching. They were almost same. So I wish to tell you that if you have already done so much in legal, trust your preparations and focus would be the key. You'll have to keep an eye on the question. Don't miss out because anyone who had practiced so much has very less probability to fail. Every variety of question that could be done, you've already done. So trust yourself, and it would be those 120 minutes on the day of CLAT and 90 minutes on the day of ALET when you should perform. So we'll talk about it in different session. But yes, you have all what it takes, all kind of questions which have come, you have done it. So be very clear, have that confidence within, and then go ahead with the paper. You have done enough. Second thing, when I talk about legal GK, you have already done legal GK in your mocks. Number two, Kriti ma'am's session on legal GK, specifically month, and again on judgments and recent legislation. Once you do it, it would help. I'm reiterating so many things because when you see 26th is ALET, for the 35 question that ALET would have, we have seen history has been evident that 15 odd questions, 16 odd questions are principle based and rest are knowledge based questions on legal GK. So the knowledge based question, they really decide whether you make it to NLUD or not, because around 19-20 questions would straight away come from legal GK, legal current affairs. And for legal current affairs, you need to know important judgments, important legislations, important legal happenings, important international legal happenings. You need to keep your eyes on that. So again, we have dealt with some important topics, GK topics of national GK topics. तो वो है उनकी भी बात करेंगे towards the end. And yes, with this, I think we should go to the session without spending time. My favorite quote, that if it is about exam, believe in yourself, trust yourself. If you think it can be done, it can be done. If you think you can't, you have already lost before playing. So remember this. Legal reasoning passages, as I've always been telling, that we expect a passage of 300 words to 450 words. The passage may be a case law description, maybe a commentary to an existing law, which you have seen existing law or your existing judgment analysis, policy of government or a proposed law or some guidelines or socio-legal issues and news. So they are basically the areas from where the question comes. Success mantra, read it faster than others, read and comprehend simultaneously, stick to principle, have no preconceived notion, solve more accurately than others, be mindful and cautious, which is most important. At times, I found that questions that we make at Vidhigya, we ensure that they're very relevant to exam, and therefore we believe that not only the degree of toughness, but they should be a bit tricky. If you are not conscious while reading, if you miss the bus, you see the sample 1, sample 2, and sample 3 that Platt has given. The questions are not difficult, they are tricky. So keep your eyes and ears open. All right. Ears for now, eyes on the D-Day. All right. So I think that matters. Scoring section है, numbers आने चाहिए. Right. I'm again, just before you enter exam, I'll tell you this offset method would work. No legal passage can go beyond offset. Be very clear. To ace legal section, I suggest read it overall, be very fast at reading it, understand the gist of it, and understand from where the questions can be framed. Come back to the question, check out the passage, and that mix we do. That is required, but in time. For 35 questions on the day of CLAT, 35 to 38, somewhere we give 37 and our mocks though. So 37 questions अगर हम देखें, so you should have 35 to 40 minutes का कुछ bracket in hand. More preferably 35 minutes you have to do these questions. You need to be really fast, right? Keeping this, let's go ahead. Passage one. Passage one is about doctrine of promissory estoppel, right? It's a legal principle, 408 words, moderate to difficult, and this would be the reading time. After this topic is done, we'll try to understand what is promissory estoppel as a principle. Because if I tell you beforehand, you'll not enjoy doing the passage. Or if you want, I can tell you beforehand as well, as you say. The first comment that I get, whether should I explain promissory estoppel before passage or after passage, right? Waiting for your response. Yeah. Okay, so this passage when I talk about is about doctrine of promissory estoppel. It's a technical legal topic. So if it's a technical legal topic, there's a way to approach it. Let's discuss that, how to go about this. After passage is what Nirukta says, and Nirukta's words are final words. Laksh, Devang, everyone. Oh my God. Meenal said no, don't tell. All right, चलिए. दिस इज अ की टर्म. आज एग्जाम के बाद एस्टॉपल पता होना चाहिए. एस्टॉपल का मतलब आई टेल यू बिफोर हैंड. एस्टॉपल वुड सिंपली मीन दैट इफ यू हैव सेड समथिंग यू आर बाउंड बाय इट. रेस्ट आगे देखते हैं. लेट्स स्टार्ट विद पैसेज वन. पैसेज वन, I give you 60 seconds time on screen. Once you are done, please write done. We'll go further. 60 seconds starts now, and I'll give you space. You can definitely see it. Screen is all yours. Once you are done, just let me know. Done. Srishti Solanki says done. Yes, Mr. Joshi, I've shifted. Asutosh Singh says done. Good. Uh, Want me to shift either ways? चलिए. We're done. Can we see the next part of it? All right. All right. All right. The second part. The part two of it. Are we done? Great. So let's go into questions. Let's go into questions. The first question to you to answer here on your screen. Vidhi wanted to sell a car to Vidhan, but Vidhan wanted to buy that car from Vidhi's friend. Vidhi said that she is selling this car on behalf of her friend. Knowing this well, her friend also did not object to this and let Vidhi use her name. Later, Vidhi could not deliver the car on time. Will Vidhi's friend be liable for such breach of contract? A, B, C, D. Look at it faster. All right. You all have started answering, right? So I think I'll not go into great discussion about the answer. Now it's the time to explain you what is the principle of promissory estoppel. When I talk about this principle of promissory estoppel, it generally means that if I rely upon a promise made by you, you made a promise to me, I relied upon that promise, and relying upon that promise, I made some investment or I've done something. Now you cannot retract from your promise. You told Bahul, I'll give you rupees 1 lakh. Go on, make a library for people who lives in the deprived areas. Relying on your assurance of rupees 1 lakh, I made investment and I started the work of getting a library made. I placed orders for books. And then you say, I'll not give, cannot be done. If you have promised something, you cannot retract from it, right? If relying upon your promise, I made certain investments or I've done something, you are liable to keep your words. That is the simplest way to tell you. I just, I'll take a minute's time to explain once. When I used to practice in litigation and when I was in uh, Delhi at Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulatory Board that regulates the downstream market. It's a regulator, right? So they had judicial powers as well. So I found two. It was a very pompous case. I'll not name any. They were the best of the legal brains that India has. And when they were trying to explain this thing to a non-judicial person, the doctrine of promissory estoppel, one of the very witty lawyers said that, my lord, I'll just tell you what doctrine of promissory estoppel is. Doctrine of promissory estoppel is just like a beautiful lady told me that I want to get married with you, right? He told that, a beautiful lady told me that I want to get married with you. The man was happy because he was not earning good. He was just a lawyer, and somebody telling him that, I want to get married. Relying upon the promise of this lady, this man has booked, the venue, the catering, and made expenses for marriage, right? Later on, and the marriage is to be solemn. This promise is made on Monday. The marriage is to be solemnized on Saturday. Sometime on Thursday, the lady comes and tells, this is a wit of a lawyer, that, no, I don't want to marry you. You don't earn good. The opposite counsel, Mr. X, he earns more than you. So I'm not interested any which way marrying to you. This everything is done. Now this lawyer say, I can't force that lady to marry me. I can't force and enforce this promise against her that she should marry me. But relying upon that lady's promise, I have made investment about the catering. I've made investment about the venue, and therefore I have a right that this money which I have invested relying upon her promise shall be reimbursed to me. And my lord, this is what doctrine of promissory estoppel is. If you have promised something, relying upon your promise, some other person has acted, then you are bound. And I repeat, then you are bound by your promise. You cannot retract from your promise. And this is what the doctrine of promissory estoppel would mean. ठीक है? So when I talk about I just believe and I pray, all those who are interested in learning should come at Vidya. Tom, Dick, and Harrys are not welcomed. ठीक है? चलिए. Going ahead, when I talk about this question is very simple question. Vidhi wanted to sell her car. Now here the catch word is knowing this well. Her friend also did not object to this and allowed Vidhi to use her name. That means the friend has accepted and now she cannot deny. That is what the principle of estoppel would be, which is why the simple answer to this question would be B. Bombay. Most of you are right. I think we should move on to the next question. And what I want to tell you again, there's an interesting thing. This passage, technically, when you see it, it looked a tricky one. But when you see the questions, they're damn easy to go ahead with. So again, it doesn't matter, the passage. Always have some time, look at the questions. Again, when I talk about gauging the passage on the face of it, you should always remember that a passage can be gauged. If it is known to you, it would be easy to solve. Even if it is unknown, it is law. You have done enough practice. I think you should go for it, right? ठीक है, आगे चलते हैं. Question number 2. Let's go for it. Vidhi and Vidhan were two partners in a partnership firm. They wanted to enter into a contract with ABC company, but they asked if Ajay would be a part of this contract along with Vidhi and Vidhan, then only they'll enter into a contract. Ajay agreed and promised, and here's the key word, promised that in case of any breach on Vidhi and Vidhan's part, Ajay will be liable. Ajay will be responsible. In such a situation, who would be liable if Vidhi and Vidhan breach the contract? The question comes very simple. The answer to this question is, of course, A, Agra. There's no doubt about it. Crystal clear answer. Ajay promised, now he can't back out from the promise and therefore he is liable. Clear hai? I think let's go to, the explanations are damn simple, so not going that deep. I'll go to question 3rd. Right, 3rd. Kashish, you missed out. It should be A. It should not be C. Right? Okay. Now, going with question 3rd. Vidhi has been employed at a company for past 10 years. But when she was asked to be a witness before the court and give statement relating to a particular matter, she said she has not been employed by the said company. Later, the company stopped giving her salary. Was the company's action justified? Now, again, you have to apply the same rule. You need to understand it very simply. What did Vidhi admit? The word, please understand these two words very well: admission and confession. Any assertion in a court of law can be admission. Any statement that you make in the court of law is an admission. Any statement, the veracity of which you testify in the court is an admission. But the moment you admit your guilt, you say that I am guilty, such admission is called confession. So, what is confession? Admission of guilt. What is admission? A statement made before the court where you say that you believe something. Simple as that. So, here the lady says that she makes an admission to the court that I'm not an employee of the company and the company stopped paying her salary. Since she has admitted in the court, now this admission would act as an estoppel and she cannot go back from what was being expressed by her or admitted by her. So, the answer to this question again goes simple. B. Bombay is the answer. Clear है? Good. Explanations are huge, but I'm sure you're understanding, so we don't require actually to go that deep. Simple questions. Which of the following is essential for promissory estoppel? Which of the following is essential for promissory estoppel? A. The party has made it clear through words or action a promise that they intend to fulfill. They intend to clear a legal relationship that the parties are expected to fulfill. They intend to create a legally binding relationship. C, the promise is binding in nature and the parties cannot go back from the promises made by them. So this is a perfect case where all these three ingredient 1, ingredient 2 and ingredient 3 act together, and therefore D Delhi would be the answer. D Delhi would be the answer. Good going, good going. Simply because ABC are true, hence D. Now this is interesting. Vidhi, a tenant in the house, falsely representing to Vedan that she has transferable rights over the property, and therefore in transferring of the property to Vidhan, therefore is transferring the property to Vidhan. Later she acquired ownership of that house. What would Vidhi do when Vidhan finds out that she made a false promise to him? The question is very simple. Vidhi made her believe something. Later, she acquired the ownership, and the answer gets clear. Vidhi will be stopped from claiming that she did not have transferable rights then at a later stage, and she'll have to fulfill her promise. Answer would be A. Most of you are saying D and C. You are bluntly wrong. It can never be the answer. C is extraneous. That is not possible. Somebody marking C is a flawful on legal reasoning. So if C is extraneous, so D is impossible. Elimination देखो इससे अच्छा कहीं मिलेगा नहीं. C वाली बात तो कहीं है ही नहीं ना पैसेज में ना क्वेश्चन में तो C is out. if C is out तो D नहीं हो सकता. बचती है चॉइस A और B में. B में लिखा है विधि can ask to get 50% of the share. Again, that is extraneous. It is irrelevant. It doesn't make sense. It is not what law or the question said. So any which way, the only possible answer to the question would be A, Agra. Now we go on to the next passage. Next passage is a simple passage about internet ban. It's an excerpt from Anuradha Bhasin's judgment. 200 words. I'll give you 60 seconds to read this time. Yeah, 60 seconds. 7 सेकंड मिलेंगे. 200 वर्ड्स हैं. जल्दी से पढ़ना है, जल्दी से करना है, एंड देन वील डिस्कस. और इसके बाद लास्ट में वील डिस्कस इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक्स, राइट? सो इशू ऑफ इंटरनेट बैन, मतलब एक टॉपिक इज डन एंड डस्टेड. इशू ऑफ इंटरनेट बैन इन Jammu and Kashmir holds a very important topic. You should know about it. You should know Anuradha Bhasin judgment. I wish and I expect this Anuradha Bhasin judgment by name may be asked in exams like ILIT, and on passage can be asked in exam like CLAT. So get set. So let's start. 60 seconds to read this passage, and the passage is here on your screen. and it has no second part, only one part of it, just 210 words to be specific, rather 200. Are we done? So most of you have done this, so let's see. Now, this is a Supreme Court judgment and it's a very small passage. And again, we have 5 questions to it. So how to approach this passage? You need to skim through. The Supreme Court judgment on Anuradha Bhasin versus Union of India recently issued the ठीक है. They issued certain principle in relation to section 144. Then the order suspending the internet services indefinitely is impermissible under so and so rules. Suspension can be utilized for temporary duration only. तो यहाँ एक बात है, एक प्रिंसिपल ऑफ लॉ हमने यहाँ पढ़ा कि द ऑर्डर ऑफ सुप्रीम कोर्ट सेज दैट सस्पेंशन कैन ओनली बी फॉर अ टेम्पररी ड्यूरेशन, नंबर वन, and number two, it cannot be indefinite. So that's the first paragraph. Coming to the second one, इतना समझ लिया, comprehension and understanding simultaneously and going ahead. आगे चलेंगे. Then the power under section 144 being remedial as well as preventive is exercisable not only where there exists a present danger. However, the danger contemplated be in the nature of an emergency and for the purpose of preventing obstruction, annoyance, or injury to any person lawfully employed. So now they have let down कि when 144 order में क्या criteria follow होना चाहिए. The power under section 144 cannot be used to suppress the legitimate expression of opinion. अब expression of opinion मतलब सारी चीजें, आर्टिकल 19(1)(a) में फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच में जितनी चीजें आती हैं, everything is expression. Legitimate expression of opinion or grievance or exercise of democratic right. That means section under 144, if suppress the legitimate expression of opinion or grievance or exercise of democratic right, then that would be abuse of power. That is what we see by this line. An order suspending internet use under the suspension rule must adhere to the principle of proportionality and must not extend beyond the necessary duration. Now they say it should be proportional. Now it's a very important word, the meaning of word proportional. Proportional, I'll try to tell you with its antonym. Proportional का antonym हो गया excessive. Something which is proportionate to harm, मतलब आपके सामने जितनी harm है, आपके सामने जितनी जैसी situation है, उस situation में सिर्फ उसको control करने के लिए जितना आपको force या जितना आपको measure लेना चाहिए, आप उतना ही लेते हैं. That is proportional. Once you go beyond and do what is more than required, that is called excessive. एक और चीज, ये सारे वर्ड है ना, proportional, notwithstanding anything मतलब ऊपर की सारी चीज फालतू हो गई. आप देखेंगे लीगल प्रोविजंस में यू फाइंड अ वर्ड notwithstanding anything in any law. अब इसका मतलब क्या हुआ, ये जो वर्ड आगे आने वाला है इसके ऊपर होगा ओवरराइडिंग इफेक्ट, मतलब ये सारी पुरानी चीजों के ऊपर ओवरराइड कर देगा. पुरानी चीजों से कोई वास्ता नहीं है, जो इसमें लिखा है वो एक एक्सेप्शन है. लिखा है नॉट विथ स्टैंडिंग एनीथिंग इन एनी लॉ दिस शुड बी डन. सो फाइनली बात है, जो बात लिखी ना दिस शुड बी डन, इट इज एन एक्सेप्शन. ठीक है, इट इज एन एक्सेप्शन. क्लियर? सो व्हेन आई टॉक अबाउट interestingly, somebody is wishing everyone all the best for CLAT 2020. I mean, yes, to everyone, all the best, right? And make sure you work enough, you work hard, you enjoy, and towards the end you're happy. ठीक है? चलो. Coming back, what I want to tell that when we talk about few words, आप क्लैट में एलिट में इन वर्ड्स का बड़ा ध्यान रखना. इवन एलिट की इंग्लिश में when they prefix that word not, when they prefix this word correct, incorrect, you need to be very clear on this. That is number one. When I talk about thing number two, which is again very important for you, these words like notwithstanding anything, to the contrary, right? impermissible, beyond legal permissibility, ultra wires. These all things should be very well known to you. The meaning of term ultra wires is ultra wires to constitution simply means unconstitutional. So these all interpretations should be very clear, right? So when I talk about this, I think some Tom, Dick, and Harrys have something really to express, which we don't care. Going ahead, ये सारे वर्ड्स मैंने आपसे बोले दे शुड बी वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. आगे जाके अगर हम देखें how to deal with anxiety, Sejal, I'll have a different session on this, and we'll definitely talk about the test cracking sessions, strategies, test cracking strategies के जो session होते हैं, विदिज्ञ के T-Cube session, test taking techniques के sessions. On that we'll definitely address this issue as well. It is indeed a session which is required. Coming back, हम लोग अब जब इस पैसेज की बात कर रहे हैं तो वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि यहाँ वर्ड proportionality is a very small word but it can be a game changer, and you need to understand word literary and also in its spirit. So this legal terminology you should be well versed with. Keeping that constant, going ahead, while exercising the power under section 144 CRPC, the magistrate is duty bound to balance the right and restriction based on the principle of proportionality, and thereafter apply least intrusive measure. Now you need to understand this word as well, least intrusive measures. लीस्ट इंट्रूसिव, मोस्ट इंट्रूसिव नहीं, लीस्ट इंट्रूसिव मेशर्स. इस पे हमारे क्वेश्चंस हो जाएंगे. लेट्स टेक क्वेश्चन नंबर 6. गोइंग एट, riots broke out in the city of Indore. The magistrate imposed section 144 CRPC in the city for a month. Internet shutdown was also imposed. The riots stopped within a day. Now here's the catch in the question. The riots stopped within a day, but the restrictions were kept in place. Vidhan runs an online handicraft business. He filed a petition before the High Court for lifting of internet shutdown after 2 weeks of the riot stopping. Decide. Now, this is an interesting question. Waiting for your answers. The answer to question number 6 is C, Calcutta. Everyone marking C. Kudos to you. Going ahead. Question 7th. This is the reason. I think it's very simple. When it was a day's affair, it was not least intrusive and it was not proportional, to keep it simple. Riots broke out in the city of Indore. The magistrate of Indore imposed section 144 in the city after the month. Internet shutdown was also imposed. The riots stopped within a day, but the restriction was kept in place. Vidhi Atreda, filed at High Court for lifting the ban. Again, the restrictions are disproportionate, and second, it was not least intrusive. Simple hai. Both B and C are correct. Answer is D, Delhi. Going ahead. Question 8. 10 armed terrorists. Now this is a question that will play with your mind. 10 armed terrorists stormed the city of Indore. The magistrate imposed section 144 CRPC. News channels were banned from showing the visuals of government response or of the attacks. Internet shutdowns was imposed to avoid leak of government response via public or private social media profiles. The restrictions were lifted once the operation was over and all 10 terrorists were killed. Vidhan is a businessman. He lost 2 millions in the game. What would happen? Now it looks that it was a grave situation. The action taken by government was proportionate and it was least intrusive. The principle of law, it should be proportionate and it should be least intrusive. I think that is done. Therefore, these are the 3 ingredients required: that proportionate to danger, number 2, least intrusive measure, number C, restrictions imposed were necessary to balance the right of people under threat under threat due to terrorists. So again, 1, 2, 3 are correct. So answer is D, which says 1, 2, 3 are correct. Going ahead, question 9. The central government has converted the state. ये एक और legal जी का important चीज है. Please be very clear on it. State of Jammu and Kashmir, the union territory now, right? 370 union territory or reorganization of Jammu and Kashmir as the union territory of JNK and Ladakh. Very important for AILET, and I mean it. Important for AILET. I hope you'll remember my words after exam. So the central government has converted the state of Jammu and Kashmir from a full state to two union territories. An internet shutdown has been going on for 9 months now in anticipation of backlash. Now, here is that keyword which you have, yeah, focus at, then you go on wrong with the question. I'm not interested in the answer, but you need to be very clear what should you read. Now they're saying the internet shutdown is continuing for 9 months, quite a big period. For for what? For nothing has happened. They're anticipating that something in backlash would happen. The people are unhappy with this move and are unable to express their dissent. The government controls such expression. अब आगे की बात हमारे काम की नहीं, हमारे काम की जरूरत नहीं बात है. 9 months in anticipation of a backlash by people, which never happened. Government controls such expressions due to internet shutdown and media control measures. A group of businessmen filed for restrictions to be lifted as internet is necessary for online tourism bookings. Question has a simple answer, that is A. Agra. The restrictions are violative of their rights as they are being used to curb the democratic speech, freedom of speech and expression. Simple. B is not possible. C is extraneous. D again legally incorrect. So when we go with the last question, the students of Indore were protesting against the much debated CAA NRC. Soon the protest turned violent, resulting in a communal clash. Seeing this tense situation, the magistrate imposed Section 144 CRPC. Moreover, he suspended all the communication service till the student agreed to stop protesting in all form and accept the law. Now here, when we see with this question, now, in these questions, we clearly could make out he suspended all the communication services till students agree to stop protesting. No, this is not proportionate. And this is most intrusive, right? So again, you all got it right. So I'll not comment much. You got the answer. The answer is C, Calcutta. You can read. It is democratic right of students to dissent and protest. It can't be subjected to anything. Simply got the answer. Now we'll discuss, since time is of paucity, कम समय में आज काम का पढ़ना था, or in the upcoming sessions, maybe tomorrow and in the upcoming days, we'll discuss some important areas of legal GK which is must do for AILET, and वो देखना होगा आपको. ठीक है, तो चलते हैं आगे. These are the topics, list of topics. COVID related, Epidemic Disease Act. Now for this you can refer Kriti ma'am's March and April session. Then Article 370, 35A, Jammu Kashmir, Union Territories and State. Trust me, is an important area, gray area. Don't miss out on this. The probability of it turning out is good. अच्छे से पढ़ना. Right to health, should know. You know, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2020. In February and December month, it was discussed. But this is very important because the economy related law, which AILET is always fond of, they might have a question left right about it. So I think you should read this. Then bail, anticipatory bail, you should know as a concept. यो कहीं भी आ सकता है पूरे concept. वो जब बात करते हैं ना, as a concept you should know it can figure out anywhere. Anywhere means anywhere, even in CLAT or you know in some legal GK part. CLAT के किसी passage में ही आ गया. So it is expected that you should know bailable, non-bailable, cognizable, non-cognizable, compoundable, non-compoundable, anticipatory bail, bail, parole, such as common concepts must have been known. So मालूम होना चाहिए. Going ahead, CAA NRC, again, January session is having this, and then you should know Transgenders Persons Act 2019, and you should not only know this 2019, should also know all the cases. When you talk about transgenders rights, then you need to know कैसे. You need to know first that 2009 में नाज फाउंडेशन, फिर नाज फाउंडेशन के बाद सुरेश नाज फाउंडेशन में Delhi High Court said that you know they recognized the rights of transgenders and said section 377 of IPC, unnatural offenses to the extent of homosexuality, is unconstitutional. This was in 2009 Delhi High Court. Then there was a judgment in 2013, if I'm not wrong, that was Suresh Kumar Kaushal versus Union of India, where Supreme Court said, मतलब ये Delhi High Court की judgment को overrule किया. Supreme Court said what? That you know the job of getting a law change is of Parliament, not of judiciary. There's nothing unconstitutional in Section 377, and Section 377, unnatural offense, which used to be till then punishing homosexuality was upheld and said that 377 is constitutional. Then the things changed, and in 2018 we had K. Puttaswamy judgment, wherein they defined right to privacy. And after right to privacy was being clarified, it paved the way. It paved the way for 377 getting declared as unconstitutional in Navteej Singh Johar. And finally, in between, we had a judgment, and that judgment was in 2014, National Legal Services Authority versus Union of India judgment, wherein that said there's the Supreme Court held that transgenders' rights shall be recognized, and any form that a person, a person is made to fill should have three genders: male, female, and others. So that's all I remember. So this is what basically you should have known. स्पेशल प्रोटेक्शन ग्रुप एक्ट 2019 थोड़ा थोड़ा सा पता होना चाहिए, वो सिक्योरिटी हटाने का इशू. राइट टू एजुकेशन एंड न्यू इकोनॉमिक पॉलिसी, न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी, आई स्टैंड करेक्टेड, न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी. 21A के बारे में सब कुछ, मतलब सब कुछ पता होना चाहिए. 21A added as a fundamental right in 2002 by 86th amendment known to all, but you should know there was a law that was enacted, and that law was of 2009, the Right to Education Act. Okay? ये सब पता होना चाहिए. Then रिजर्वेशन पे इंपॉर्टेंट जजमेंट्स हैं, जजमेंट पता होना चाहिए. देन रिसाइकलिंग ऑफ शिप्स, ये एनवायरनमेंट से रिलेटेड बात थी, पता होना चाहिए. कंज्यूमर प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, पता ही होना चाहिए. देन द इशू ऑफ सरोगेसी, पता ही होना चाहिए. कंटेम्प्ट ऑफ कोर्ट, kudos to Mr. Prashant Bhushan, पता ही होना चाहिए. देन फार्मर्स ऑर्डिनेंस दैट रिसेंटली इज मेड अ लॉ, वो पता होना चाहिए. नेशनल ग्रीन ट्राइब्यूनल एंड राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन. आरटीआई एक्ट में वो जो ट्रांसपेरेंसी की बात थी जिसपे जजमेंट है, इवन सुप्रीम कोर्ट इज नॉट इम्यून, है ना. इवन सुप्रीम कोर्ट एज एन इंस्टीट्यूशन इज एमिनेबल टू राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन. इवन आरबीआई इज एमिनेबल टू आरटीआई. सो दीज थिंग्स यू शुड नो, ये पता होना चाहिए. नेशनल ग्रीन ट्राइब्यूनल के बारे में पता होना चाहिए. कंपटीशन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया के बारे में पता होना चाहिए. 101, 102, 103, 104 कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट्स पता ही होना चाहिए. सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट एंड पॉक्सको, ये अच्छे से पता होना चाहिए. जब हम बात करते हैं पॉक्सको की, तो a lot has been asked, and it is a legitimate expectation that students should know about this law, which is a gender neutral law. I clarify. फोर्स मेजर पता होना चाहिए. और वो सारे इंपॉर्टेंट वर्ड्स थे ना जो यहाँ पे थे, कर्फ्यू, लॉकडाउन, सेक्शन 144, ये सब फरवरी सेशन में हुआ था, तो उसको देख लेना. फोर्स मेजर, पुलिस एनकाउंटर. एनकाउंटर ह्यूमन राइट्स के लिए इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है, ह्यूमन राइट्स से नेशनल ह्यूमन राइट कमीशन इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है, पता होना चाहिए. नॉट वेरी. राइट टू इंटरनेट वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, राइट टू इंटरनेट वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. फीमेल राइट टू प्रॉपर्टी अगेन वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. तो ये कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक्स थे जो आपको पता ही होना चाहिए. नाउ test cracking strategy of AILET. I'll try my best to have this session tomorrow for you, and we'll discuss if it is AILET, what should be the strategy, because you all were in NLAT mode. You were enjoying the bliss of like 45 minutes, 40 questions, and now you should enjoy more. 45 into 2, you have 90 minutes, but the questions are almost 4 times. Time NLAT से 2 गुना है और questions 4 गुने हैं. See, you get 90 minutes in AILET and you got, so 45 NLAT into 2 is 90 minutes. But in NLAT you had just 40 questions, and in AILET you have 150 questions. So the ball game can never be same. And again, the portal which AILET has shown, for their mock, you keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on that as well, right? I wish that this session would have helped you to strategize your preps. I'll always say be positive and stay logical, stay ahead with Vidhigya. If you like this session, if you really liked it, press a like icon and subscribe. If you did not like, forget, move on. We'll try our best to make sure that next time we come up with better content. All the best. Stay logical with Vidhigya and stay positive. And I wish that these few days we give our best so that on 26 and 28, we'll be the last person to have the best smile. All the best to you.